I want to introduce you to the concept of process thought as I understand it. Process thought is a way of looking at being present in the moment, living from one moment to the next moment. All I ask from you is to be open to hearing about process thought and see if this makes sense in your life. Process thought was developed by Alfred North Whitehead in the early 1900s. Whitehead was born in England in 1861. He studied and then taught mathematics in London colleges. From his study of mathematics, he became interested in philosophy. In 1924, he came to the United States to teach philosophy at Harvard University. Whitehead's process thought work has been carried out by his student Charles Hartshorne and later by John Cobb Jr., Schubert Ogden, and Janine Sledham, among others. Process thought is focused on living in relationship with God, or the giver of life, others, and the natural world we live in. I've created a model of process thought that incorporates how I understand it. I'll take you through the model. We all have a history which is fixed in the past, a personal history, a family history, a cultural history, and a world history. Our history influences each decision or choice we make. While we are awake, we make a decision every few seconds, or you can say with each breath. Our decisions rise from our stream of thoughts going on from morning to night. Some thoughts create more thoughts, others give rise to emotions like fear, joy, anger, and sadness. Other thoughts motivate us to act. What is interesting is each decision we make is most often determined by our past decisions. These decisions have been and continue to be influenced by our personal history, family history, cultural history, and world history. Whitehead calls our act of decision a concrescence, a concretive synthesis of the actual past and the selection from the relevant future. There are many possibilities to choose from. Whitehead's process thought model includes God in our decision process. Whitehead sees God as being active in our lives and active in the world. He says that God, being in relationship with us, adds God's aim into each of our decisions we make. How we look at what God's aim for each of us in the world will be is different for each person. Some may say God's aim is love. Others may say healthy relationships. Some might say struggle and death. Each person will see and feel this from their own point of view and from their personal life history. Whitehead goes on to say that once we make a decision, that decision is fed back to God and influences God. The cycle continues throughout creation. God is active in the world and influenced by the world. This is a panentheism point of view, that God is active in the universe and also transcends the universe into an existence that is separate from the universe. We then go on to our next decision or choice. It could be to continue a stream of thoughts, or triggers an emotion, or motivates us to act. God's aim is part of the decision. Our past history makes up over 90% of what is decided, however. Think about it. We are creatures of habit. Now, let's take a look at how this would overlay with meditation, mindfulness, or centering prayer practice. So in the light of process thought, it opens up a new way for each of us to shift our focus on being rather than doing. A time to live in the moment without expectations of having to do anything at that moment. A time to relax into the silence. a time to be open to be present to what is, a time to decide or choose to listen to God's aim more fully, to let go of our past memories and influences for the moment to be more present in this moment. With continued practice, our decisions in life include more of God's aim and less of our past histories. Isn't God's purpose, as Christ has taught us, to love God and others as we love ourselves? To be in relationship with God, others, and all of God's creation. I hope you have found this helpful and useful. Take care.